What's going on, everybody? All right, I thought I'd start this channel out with something a little bit iconic. Everybody knows what this is. This is going to be the first thing that I review, the first thing I carry this week, and mainly because, well, you'll see here in just a minute, the Benchmade Bugout. Now, I have already done a mod to this, as everybody can see. It does have the Flytanium G10 handle scales, which I think is a must for this knife. I hate the scales on this. We'll get into that here in just a minute. But I really think this is an awesome upgrade. I love this color pattern with the gray blade and the slate blue scales. I think that makes it look amazing. But under these times of quarantine and stuff like that, I've got a 4 max in and stuff for review, but when you're wearing basketball shorts, a 4 max just isn't the best thing to be carrying. So let's see what is in the box. Of course, I have the handle scales, and you'll see there is actually a little bit of a difference with these scales and these scales, and we'll get into that here in just a minute. But I did get the Ranger green version because I did want that gray blade to go with that slate blue scale. I just think that looked pretty amazing, that pattern or that color combo. You do get a little Benchmade holder, I guess it's almost like a sunglass holder where you can clean your sunglasses. I guess you could probably clean your blade with it too. If I was guessing, I would assume that you could just clean your, I don't know why you would, but if you wanted to clean your blade, you could use that. You get a little Benchmade brochure, and then it's got like some foam insert. And that's pretty much all that is in the box when you get it, which is pretty nice. Not all knives come with something like this. It's a little something extra, but I also forgot there is something in the bottom. You do get the little Axis lock tag, but this is a little something extra that all knives do not come with. Now, the Benchmade Bugout in this scale pattern right here, or scale color, is $144.50. And then if you want the slate blue scales, they're $39. So you'll have a total of about $183.50 plus tax, because I got this from Blade HQ and they now charge tax. But $183.50 plus tax. And I know that's expensive for a Bugout, but I really think that these scales are totally worth it. So let's get into some of the specs. This is the 535 GRY-1. One thing I do like about these knives is you can just flip them shut. They are very, very smooth. You can actually flip them open like I just stabbed it right there. It's hard to do from behind the camera. Didn't hurt anything because this mat is really thick. It's actually made for cutting, so it didn't actually get under the table. The overall length of this knife, and the reason I bought this mat is because each one of these little squares represent an inch. So you can kind of see right there. It is almost 7.5 inches long, a blade length of 3.24, cutting length of 3 inches. So you have that little sharpening tool right there, which is pretty nice most times. So you don't actually hit the handle or hit the blade or anything and cause damage right there. The blade width itself is 1 inch. The blade thickness is 0.09. It should be an awesome slicer because it is very, very thin. The blade steel is CPM S30V. I like S30V. It's a good steel. I've never had any issues with S30V. It's always done me right. It's kind of a good middle ground where, you know, it's not too hard to sharpen, but it doesn't dull too quick. It does have a drop point blade with a flat grind. The handle length from here to here is 4.22 inches. The handle thickness is 0.42 inches with these scales. Now, these scales seem to have just a little bit of a bulge on the side. When I took a caliper to the G10 scales, it was 0.41. So these were just a hair thinner than those, but I gotta tell you, you don't really notice that in hand. The weight stock with these scales, I think these scales are very cheap. They're real light. They feel real plasticky, is 1.85 ounces. And with the G10 scales, it bumps it up to 2.3. And I think that's a noticeable difference. I don't like a really, really, really light knife. I like to have a little bit of heft in my hand. And that little bit of extra weight really makes that knife feel great, I think, in my personal opinion. It does have the Axis lock. It is made in USA, so that's probably why you're paying a little bit more for this when you wouldn't pay as much for other knives. That was a fail. There you go. You can reverse flick it like a Spyderco. You catch that little thumb stud right there. My best use for this would be EDC. I would consider this an EDC knife. I don't consider this a tactical knife or anything like that. I don't think it's big enough to be a tactical knife. So my best use for this would be an EDC. I have a video up before this, and it tells how I'm going to do this. So I'm going to carry this for a week, and then I'm going to rank this on a series of, tasks or, specs, and I'm going to give it a 1 to 10. Now, if you want to see what all those parameters are going to be that I rank this on, you can go back and watch that video right before this one. And the main thing I think I'm going to see with this one, though, is the fidget factor. And it's really hard to do when you're standing behind a tripod, but I actually fidgeted with this knife or played with this knife the first day I got it so much that my thumb was sore. So I think the fidget factor on this is going to be amazing. I also want to throw in that it does have a very deep carry pocket clip. You can see how deep carry that is. It's pretty amazing. I really like this knife, and I'm looking forward to using it. Now, like I said, I'm gonna be carrying this for the next week, and after that week, probably like maybe Friday. I'm gonna say a week, but it'll probably be like 5 days, probably this Friday. I'll give you my opinion and all the scores that go along with it. So hit that subscribe button. Also click the notification bell so you don't miss out on anything. I have a lot of knives coming in. I'm fixing to do a huge unboxing of all the knives I got. I appreciate y'all watching this video, and we'll see you in about 5 days.